They grow quietly, unnoticed, in the corners of our gardens and kitchens. Their leaves whisper in the wind, carrying secrets older than human medicine itself. For centuries, humans have reached for these green guardians, without fully understanding the invisible power that lives within them. Today, science is finally catching up with what nature has always known. Plants defend themselves, and in doing so, they defend us too. It begins deep inside the cells of an herb leaf, where sunlight becomes energy, and energy becomes chemistry. Every drop of oil, every faint scent released when you crush a leaf between your fingers, hides an arsenal of microscopic soldiers, compounds built to fight invaders. For the plant, these invaders are bacteria, fungi, and molds. For us, they have become something far more valuable, a natural defense that may one day help humans fight back against the growing crisis of antibiotic resistance. In a world where bacteria are learning faster than we can invent drugs, scientists are turning back to the green pharmacy of nature. They're rediscovering what ancient healers once knew intuitively, that the earth itself built chemical weapons long before laboratories existed. Take garlic, for instance, an herb so simple that it sits unnoticed on almost every kitchen counter. Yet, inside its pale cloves lives a compound called allicin, produced only when the garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin is nature's alarm system, a chemical released to repel harmful microbes that try to invade the bulb. Under the microscope, it doesn't just discourage bacteria, it disables them. It punctures their defenses, disrupts their metabolism, and stops them from reproducing. In the 21st century, scientists have found that even diluted garlic extracts show significant antimicrobial activity against several strains of bacteria that no longer respond to synthetic antibiotics. The irony is poetic. While modern medicine races to create the next pill, a simple garden plant quietly carries a blueprint for protection. Move a few steps in the garden, and you'll find another silent warrior, thyme. Its scent alone can fill a kitchen with warmth, but inside those tiny leaves hides thymol, a compound so potent that hospitals use its purified form in disinfectants. When researchers compared thyme oil to certain commercial antiseptics, the results were startling. Even at low concentrations, thyme oil inhibited bacterial growth more effectively than many artificial counterparts. But thyme doesn't act alone. In the wild, it works in harmony with other plants, rosemary, sage, oregano, each adding its own strategy to the collective defense of the ecosystem. Rosemary releases carnosic acid, an antioxidant that helps protect both the plant and the human cells it nourishes. Oregano, on the other hand, produces carvacrol, which breaks down bacterial membranes and prevents the formation of resistant colonies. Together, these herbs form a botanical alliance, an invisible army that stands guard over the soil, and, indirectly, over us. This natural network of protection is not magic, it's biochemistry. When plants are attacked by microbes, they respond by generating secondary metabolites, chemical compounds not essential for growth but vital for survival. Flavonoids, terpenes, phenols, these molecules form the plant's immune system. For millions of years, evolution has refined these defenses until they became astonishingly efficient. And when we consume herbs, a fragment of that defense becomes part of us. It's easy to forget that long before antibiotics, humans survived by relying on plants. In ancient Egypt, thyme was used to preserve mummies. In Greece, soldiers carried oregano oil to clean their wounds. In India, turmeric, rich in curcumin, was part of daily meals and rituals alike, symbolizing purification and vitality. What seemed like superstition was actually early biochemistry in disguise. Modern science now measures what ancient wisdom only sensed. In laboratories across the world, researchers are extracting essential oils from herbs and testing them against the most resistant bacterial strains. The results often surprise even the most skeptical scientists. Some oils don't just stop bacterial growth, they disrupt biofilms, the sticky layers that make infections so difficult to treat. These biofilms are like microscopic fortresses, protecting bacteria from antibiotics. Yet compounds from oregano and cinnamon have shown the ability to break through them, leaving the microbes exposed and vulnerable. It raises a fascinating question. If plants already perfected these defense mechanisms, what could we learn from them? Could the future of antibiotics be inspired by the chemistry of herbs? Imagine a hospital where surface disinfectants are infused with thyme and rosemary extracts, safe, effective, and naturally biodegradable. Picture food preservation methods that use plant oils instead of synthetic additives. Consider immune-supporting diets rich in antimicrobial herbs that help the body maintain balance without harming beneficial bacteria. This is where the story shifts, from discovery to application. Around the world, scientists are designing new bio-inspired antibiotics, mimicking the structure of natural compounds like allicin and carvacrol. Others are using AI to map the genetic blueprints of medicinal plants, predicting how small changes in their chemistry could yield new defenses against disease. The frontier of medicine may not be found in a laboratory alone, but in a leaf, a root, or a seed. Yet nature's defense system also teaches humility. Every compound that can harm bacteria can also harm balance if used carelessly. The goal isn't to replace pharmaceuticals with herbs, but to learn from them. Herbs are not miracles, they are models, reminders that survival lies in adaptation, not domination. Consider the daily act of seasoning a meal. A sprinkle of oregano on a dish, a pinch of thyme in soup, a touch of garlic in olive oil. These are ancient rituals of defense, passed down unconsciously through generations. In those flavors lies chemistry, antioxidant molecules, volatile oils, antimicrobial shields. We don't just season food for taste, we season it for life. And that's where the deeper beauty of antimicrobial herbs reveals itself. They blur the line between medicine and nourishment. They remind us that health isn't just a pill we take, it's a relationship with the living world around us. Each bite of herb-infused food becomes a conversation between human cells and plant chemistry, a whisper of ancient cooperation between species that evolved together. When scientists isolate a compound like thymol or allicin, they extract power, but they also remove context. In nature, these molecules exist in symphony with others, creating balance. That's why traditional uses, herbal teas, mixed seasonings, whole plant preparations, often produce gentler, more sustainable effects than laboratory isolates. Nature prefers harmony to aggression. Still, the possibilities are enormous. In agricultural research, plant-based antimicrobials are being tested as eco-friendly alternatives to pesticides. In hospitals, herbal formulations are being studied for wound care and surface sterilization. In nutrition science, researchers are exploring how daily intake of herbs might support the microbiome, the vast community of microbes living within us. Inside the human gut, millions of bacteria form the foundation of immunity and digestion. Certain herbs, by moderating harmful bacteria while leaving beneficial strains unharmed, act as natural regulators. It's not about killing, it's about guiding balance. That delicate diplomacy between the plant world and the microbial world is the real essence of antimicrobial power. The story of these herbs is, ultimately, the story of resilience. Plants cannot run or hide, so they learn to fight smart. They evolved chemistry that is selective, subtle, and remarkably effective. And now, as humans face the limits of synthetic medicine, it's these same plants that may show us the way forward, if we are willing to listen. To walk through a garden is to walk through a living library of survival strategies. Every scent, every taste, every color is a message from nature. Adapt, protect, cooperate. The rosemary that thrives in dry soil, the garlic that repels pests underground, the thyme that resists infection on the mountain slopes. All of them are chapters in a greater book of life. And perhaps, the greatest secret they teach us is not how to fight, but how to coexist. True defense, in nature, isn't destruction, it's balance. When you brew a cup of herbal tea or sprinkle fresh herbs on your meal, you're not just adding flavor. You're joining an ancient alliance, a silent partnership between human survival and the wisdom of plants. Science is only beginning to decode the full story. But one thing is already clear: nature never created anything without a reason. So the next time you crush a leaf of thyme, or smell fresh garlic sizzling in the pan, remember, you're witnessing one of the oldest defenses on Earth at work. A defense that protected life long before we gave it a name. And perhaps, the one that will continue protecting it, long after we've rediscovered how to live in harmony with it once again.